Hello and welcome to this video. Today we're going to be doing a stock analysis on Spire Global. Now Spire Global is a satellite company based in USA. Their main focus is on data, so they make data for weather patterns, for planes, for ships, and other companies. They help other companies send up their own satellites, offering an end-to-end solution, so both sending the satellites up and maintaining them. Alright, now let's take a look at the graph. Now as you can see recently here, we had a death cross, and after it tanked a crazy amount, went all the way down to 972, all the way up from 20, so it almost halved in a day. As you can see down in the RSI, it also went down to 12. Quite poor, and ever since then it has basically been in the lower channel of the RSI. Now as you can see, they also had an earnings report where they earned 82% less than anticipated. Now we have a new earnings report tomorrow on the 17th of March, which is going to be quite interesting to see how well they're doing there. Over the last couple of days or weeks, it has performing quite nicely, going all the way up from 4 all the way up to 857 where we are now. It was of course up in 20. We also had this peak over here. It was also almost up in 20. Quite insane. Since then, it has taken a bit of a tumble. As to why it tumbled before the earnings, I do not know, but I find it quite interesting at the moment, simply because there is a lot of volatility and movement in the satellite stocks in general. Now, if we take a look of the broader picture of the stock, let's make this graph a bit bigger, let's say 3 hours. You can see that it did have an insanely high valuation, up at $150, and it peaked crazy in 2022, and this is because there were some fraud detection, I think. I know they've have had problems with people thinking that there was some fraudulent activity. As you can see, it was trading down. It was a penny stock and then it exploded. So I do know that that's why it exploded like that. But overall, as you can see, they have a lot of green earnings and they are one of the most profitable, no, not profitable, one of the largest companies in the satellite business, offering 110 data-focused satellites, which is more than most others. Other companies like Eutelsat have more satellites in orbit, but they are not data satellites. They are more imaging and other satellites. So it's quite interesting. Now we did have a stock split here, an 1-to-8 stock split, so quite a lot. So that is quite interesting. Often a stock split is good for a stock as it lowers the amount of money you need to purchase one stock, which increases volume and often increases the stock price. As you can see, it did increase right after. We have the stock split here, and then we have a golden cross right after. Now, if we take a look at some of their earnings, as you can see here, they do perform nicely. They're still not profitable. They are very large, but they're not profitable yet. But it is a business where you need a large volume and increase the satellite traffic, and then you, of course, take a fee to help your customers maintain them. So that's why it's also going to be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. Now, as you can see annually, they are losing more and more money, but they're also gaining more and more revenue. As you can see, their revenue is increasing quite a lot, and their net income is still negative, which is fine because it is a quite new company. So it doesn't really matter that their income is bad because, as you can see, they're growing their revenue, and that is the most important thing because at the end, it's gonna be positive if they keep increasing the revenue at the rate they're doing. As you can see, it might not look like much, but from 28 million to 43 million to 70 million to 90 million, so it's quite a lot of increases each year. Now, seasonals, we did see a negative 23 almost the entire time, but it ended up in a positive, and 24 was quite nice for Spire Global. Now, if we take some more seasonals, we can see it has only been publicly traded for 5 years. So as you can see, the 23 was just a negative, 2020 just a positive. We did, of course, have a bad year in 22, but so did most stocks, and 24 was quite nice, up 81%. Now, for the year 25, we are down 40%, but I really don't think that's gonna matter. The technicals on this stock is quite horrible, however, as you can see, and that is also because we had this huge drop. So the oscillators and the moving averages are quite poor. For the day, it is a strong sell. For the month, it is still a sell, especially in moving averages. And it's very rare we have zero buy and only sell on the moving averages. Now the oscillators are neutral because we do see a bit more. We did see a bit more stability prior to the stock falling, but as you can see, ever since it has fallen, it has taken a steady decline. Now the analyst rating on this is very positive, almost a 100% uptick. I don't think that's the case at the moment. Not in the short term. Maybe it's gonna increase, but at the moment it is way too volatile to see how much it is gonna increase. I don't think it's gonna increase that much. I think it's gonna fall down to some of its earlier support levels, which is all the way down here at $3. $3, and but maybe it's gonna stabilize up here at about, what is that, about 7, low 80. Maybe it does stay here, but I don't really think it's gonna do that. I think it's gonna go all the way down here. Maybe we have this very, very small support line right here on about just about the lower part of $7. So maybe it's going to support that. If it's going to break through this support line at about $8 and it does break through this at 7, I think we're going to be trading down here at the previous lows. And I don't think it's going to be that bad for the stock in the long term. This is a stock that is quite volatile, as you can see down here on the volatility curve. It is insanely high on the volatility curve. Even when it's comparatively low, it's almost at 100%, which is quite unique. So be careful when buying a stock like this. Don't expect it to just sit at minus 0.5 or plus 0.5. You need to expect maybe double digits volatility every single day. As you can see, the last time I traded, which was Friday, it was down 3.3%. So it is a high volatility stock. Now, in the long term, I do see this as a winner in the satellite business, but right now I think it's priced a bit too high. I think it is going to tank a little bit, and then maybe I would say buy a small portion of this, leave it in your portfolio for maybe 3, 4, 5 years, and then I think it's going to increase again. That was my stock notes on Spire Global. If you did like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe.